First touch to Duquesne, and we are underway at Alumni Stadium. Tyler Reedy, JJ Lopez, pleased to be with you in South Bend as right away Notre Dame applies some pressure. The Dukes move it out wide, coming in at 4-0-0, yet to open up play in the Atlantic 10 Conference. Notre Dame 1-0-2, picked up their first win of the season to start ACC play Friday in Louisville. Here comes Duquesne on a bouncing ball. It's sent through the box out wide to the left. No chance to run it down out there for Jonke, the junior forward from Cleveland, Ohio.
We saw some pressure already from the Irish early on from the start. That's how they are attempting to get Duquesne out of that mentality of that concentration that Coach Brooks so heavily emphasizes on his players.
In his 12th season with Duquesne, Chad Riley on the Notre Dame side in year number 7 with the Fighting Irish. Two experienced head coaches. Excited for this non-conference opportunity for these respective squads as the Irish possess in full for the first time tonight. It's been a challenging 3-game start to the season for Notre Dame as once again the Dukes force a turnover, and here they come down the right side. Just under 90 seconds in, the Irish midfield closes back quickly. Notre Dame started the year home against Akron with a draw, then went to Indiana in an Elite 8 rematch and drew down there as well at 2-2. And then the Louisville match with the Cardinals ranked 15th at the time, secured by the Irish in 2-1 fashion back on Friday. Turnover goes Notre Dame's way, and now McDowell loses control. Jack Reed, a long try, and immediately tested the true freshman Blake Kelly, knocks it down.
Kelly had 8 saves against Indiana, the most in the ACC this season, and his brother Zach is also a goalkeeper, starting goalkeeper in Michigan State.
Kelly from Holt, Michigan, not too far from here. Started now all 4 games in his true freshman season for Notre Dame. The first true freshman to start a season opener for this Irish men's soccer team in at least 30 years. Head coach Chad Riley has compared his recent performances against Indiana, like you mentioned, and Louisville to those of a veteran. Here comes KK Bafour, the junior, breaking free. Into the 18, his pass goes behind the target. Rue out to Spicer, and it's drilled over the top on a sliding block from Duquesne, as Jesper Moxnes, the Norwegian, might have saved a goal.
Good addition there in the attack by Spicer, trying to find the breakthrough, trying to find some open spaces in between 5 Duquesne men. Goes above the goal.
Goal kick for Zoltan Nagy. We get our first look at the senior goalkeeper from Lakewood, Ohio in the Cleveland area. He has now started all 5 matches for Duquesne and has gotten off to a terrific opening to this season. A back-to-back winner of the Atlantic 10's Defensive Player of the Week award with back-to-back shutouts and 13 combined saves in those 2 shutouts. The Dukes' last 2 matches against Xavier and Niagara.
Yeah, and so far Nagy has logged 231 minutes and 42 seconds worth of action without yielding a goal for the Dukes entering today's game.
There's a look at Duquesne head coach Chase Brooks in his 12th season in charge of Duquesne, over 100 career wins. And I'll tell you what, when we spoke to him on Monday, I loved his reaction when we asked him about getting his 100th career win. First thing he said, I'm upset that I got there so slowly. I want to get the next 100 a lot faster than that. This guy's a competitor, and Duquesne loves having him at the top of their program here. Kelly rises high to haul down the set piece. And just over 4 minutes in, Notre Dame can reset control. Chase Brooks, the first Duquesne head coach in program history to lead the Dukes to consecutive A10 championship appearances back in 2021 and 22 as Dukes went 8-7-3 a year ago after a 4-1-1 start. This is the second time in the last 3 years rather, that the Dukes are off to a 4-0 start. Notre Dame, meanwhile, still just 1 regular season loss since the middle of October in the 2022 season. The Irish 15-1-7 in their last 23 regular season contests. College Cup finalist last season. Getting a good look at Kyle Genenbacher, Sean McDowd, and Josh Ramsey on that Irish back line. Will Schrader, the freshman from Illinois, getting involved as well, 14 in white. Another freshman, Jacob Bartlett, who scored his first collegiate goal, the game winner back on Friday in Louisville. Has it back in his area again. Dukes force it to pinball around, then Genenbacher just clears out of harm's way and into the Irish bench. And nicely done from Duquesne to remain patient. Forced Notre Dame's hand there as Chad Riley, the Irish headman, looks on his 7th season in charge at Notre Dame. A former Irish midfielder back in the early 2000s, 8 NCAA tournament berths, 4 of them here in South Bend.
That's right, 2023 ACC Coach of the Year. He mentioned to us the importance of improving the performance while getting the results. It's easier to fix things from a victory, and that's what the Irish are looking to do tonight.
Duquesne loading up the 18 for throwing from the right side. Dukes with the game's only shot on goal thus far. As Notre Dame settles it down for KK Balfour. Chips it out wide for Matthew Rue, but he's beaten to it. Ashton Gell, who has 2 goals, both game winners already this season for Duquesne, beat him to it, 16 in red. Now the Dukes fire it long for an Irish goal kick. Back-to-back 1-goal wins coming into tonight for Duquesne. Both 1-0 contests on the road at Xavier and last week against Niagara at home. And that Xavier match was really a big one for Duquesne. Their first road contest of the season. You get the game-winning goal inside the final 9 minutes of the match. That's a big confidence builder, especially once you get tested again here in South Bend. You can look back and say we've already done it.
Yeah, for sure, Tyler. And what impresses me the most, perhaps, is the defensive determination of both teams, given the amount of offensive players that get the highlight, get the spotlight so many times. But both teams so far highlighted by their great defensive determination in the season. They're looking to get that continuation today, but they also need to step up offensively if they want to take the win tonight.
Schrader still getting plenty of touches. The depths of Notre Dame's midfield. He's got it again. Former team captain with Sockers FC in Chicago. Now Bartlett. Wide it goes for KK Balfour. Irish switched the field, and here comes Kyle Genenbacher with some space. Nolan Spicer, who's been an unsung producer for Notre Dame's attack early on this season. Chad Riley has sung his praises, even though he's been not as populous on the score sheet so far with just 1 assist. Dukes continue to keep Notre Dame pressed to the back part of the midfield and on the back line as well. Notre Dame has possessed for most of the first 9 minutes, but hasn't generated a whole lot moving upfield. Let's see if they can change it right here.
And I don't know how happy Coach Brooks really is with the amount of possession his team has had so far, given his emphasis on wanting to have more possession and staying true to the play style of Duquesne in order to get a win tonight.
Irish switch it back to Genenbacher one more time. But no, 1 touch to Matthew Rue. Genenbacher steps forward. Bryce Bonneau, the Irish captain, in there, the senior midfielder, making his 38th career start. He started every game he's played, bypassing an opportunity in the MLS Super Draft last December as Nashville SC picked him up in the 3rd round. Irish lose control right in front of the Duke's bench. And now over 10 minutes in, Duquesne can take back over and retain some of that possession Coach Brooks is looking for. He's just hoping to maintain the good start for Duquesne, that this team continues to meet their high standard.
Yeah, his emphasis is exactly as you say, high standards. He's done it, as you said before, 4 wins to start off a season. Second time he's done it in 3 years. He now wants to make it 5, but so are the Irish, who now have 6 straight home games trying to get their first home win, and the sooner you get it, the better, even considering that you have Stanford next.
Zoltan Nagy, 23rd career start for him tonight. He was the A-10's leader in saves last season with 88. Ranked 2nd in the conference with a save percentage of .772. Pretty good Tuesday night crowd here at Alumni Stadium, starting to get into it. Couldn't ask for much better weather with the 8 p.m. start. KK Bafour, a one-on-one with Ashwin Menon. Through to Bonneau. Irish with some quick moves. Careens all the way back on goal, and Nagy is all over it for Duquesne.
Slightly more offensive determination by the Irish in this past 3 minutes. You can see them trying to get Duquesne to stick right there into their final third of the pitch. And so far it's working great for the Irish.
Just got to look at Bryce Bonneau. He hasn't seen the ball much so far, but when he has, he's created some unique opportunities for Notre Dame. Some of those one-touch passes working with Matthew Roux and KK Bafour. There he is again, right at midfield. Irish still dominating possession early on. They've won just about every 50-50 ball since Duquesne put that shot on goal in the opening 5 minutes with Reed. Good defensive work on the right side to ward off Bryce Bonneau. Bafour through to Bonneau. Stutter stepping, pivoting back, marked closely. Now Bafour again. Bonneau one more time, hopping around a tackle, creating space, firing it off a body. Back out for a chip from Bartlett. Landing for Spicer, shot off his own body, Matthew Roux, and it'll be a handball against Roux inside the box to thwart that Notre Dame opportunity.
Great opportunity by the Irish, but the box was full of Duquesne's players. As I was mentioning before, they're getting into their final third. The Irish are coming closer to the goal. That benefits Notre Dame's team heavily.
Well, a look at Spicer's volley. It looked like it was headed wide right anyway, but off the wrist and hand area of Matthew Roux, and an untimely spot. Duquesne still holding tight defensively. Dakota Jockey needs some help with the equipment on the back of his jersey. He'll receive it from Jesper Moxnes. Moxnes from Stavanger, Norway, a senior defender who has played the full 90 in all 4 contests so far for Duquesne. Former transfer from Virginia back in 2022. Not a ton of this year transfers on this Duquesne roster, but plenty of former transfers. This roster really overhauled itself 2 to 3 years ago, and now everybody's starting to settle in, and the Dukes are continuing their high standard of soccer. A few that have come from ACC programs.
Yeah, and Coach Brooks attributes this high recruitment process, this excellent recruitment process, to his associate head coach Adam Mitchell, today as an assistant coach here. He feels that he's such a great recruiter, and he's got experience as one of the most established school programs to bring in not only other ACC players but also international players.
Yeah, double digits as far as international players on this roster go for Duquesne. A few Norwegians, a couple from Israel. Just over 15 minutes in as Brooks looks on from the bench. There's a foul as Jack Reed goes down on a tug from Kyle Genenbacher. Reed making his first start of the season. Didn't play in Duquesne's season opener, but appeared for at least 45 minutes in each of the last 3 contests. He's a this-year transfer from Cal State Northridge, as he spent his last 2 years with the Matadors. Grant McIntosh, the junior midfielder, preparing the free kick just over the midfield stripe. The former Akron Zip gets it right back from Christopher Angel, another Norwegian. Kane goes long, running try, goes off a body. Again, some friendly fire inside the box as it ricocheted off a Duke teammate. Here comes McIntosh with service yet again. Lands for Bonneau, and he'll clear with the header. Roux into Bafour's path. That's well done by Notre Dame. But Bafour doesn't have much help. Goes down via a foul. Irish restarting quickly with Will Schrader. Josh Ramsey, one of Notre Dame's cogs on the back line a year ago. 65th career start for him tonight, a senior from Plano, Texas. Going back and forth to and from McDowell. Now Ramsey goes long. But the Dukes handle it well defensively. Irish don't let up on the pressure, however. And now it's Nagy on his left foot, and that's errant. Well wide of the target. Ashton Gell standing near the sideline.
Some good high pressure by the Irish.
That's one of the keys Chad Riley has talked about throughout the early part of this season. When Notre Dame's at its best, it's sprinting at all parts of the field, and that can make life difficult defensively.
Yeah, but we also got to focus on, as Coach Riley was saying, seeing if the Irish can be tonight a 90-minute team that goes beyond the concentration and into the physical aspect. You got to see for how long they can give it the roll physically, even more considering that they've got a weekend game now.
Duke's moving it quickly. Physical play there from Will Schrader as he came sliding in alongside Jonke. Duquesne keeps possession. Jonke, a former member of the Cornell Big Red, as get another look at that physical play. Schrader really turning on the speed late. Reed, one touches it onward. Ramsey with clean defense to knock it out of play. The opportunities for Duquesne tonight much quicker developing than Notre Dame's. The Irish have been very methodical. Duke's unafraid to go down the field early on. JJ, what have you assessed from the way these two teams have built up and advanced down the field so far and look to step into their attack? It looks like a feeling out process early.
Yeah, it seems as both teams have had their momentum in a way. Perhaps, as you were saying, the Dukes being more clear in the way and effective in the way they attack. but the Irish have had possession for longer, and they're looking to get one really quickly into the box, trying to make of Alumni Stadium the solid fortress it is for them, where they only lost 2 times last season with 9 wins and 3 draws.
Irish have possession again here as about 4 looks for Flanagan. A strong fake from Angel on the back end. Results ultimately in a turnover. About 4 stepping through one more time. Duquesne denies that chance as well. Goes all the way back to the Notre Dame keeper. And first some contact, a foul against Duquesne back behind the play. That only home loss you mentioned last year, and in fact the only regular season loss for Notre Dame a season ago, came right around this time of year. It was the second week of September here on a Tuesday night against Michigan State, a non-conference matchup right before the Irish really got into the thick of ACC play. Notre Dame certainly doesn't want to overlook this Duquesne squad. Is off to a flying start. See something similar happen here tonight. Spicer still getting involved. He wins the throw in there for Notre Dame. Notre Dame, one of the best in the nation on set pieces last year. That includes the long throw-ins from this guy, Genenbacher. Duquesne's all over it. Still a chance to fire, and just over the bar it goes.
That's what you have to do. When you have so many players defending in the area, you get a try for long, you get a rebound, great shot, and comes close to scoring the first one of the match.
That was Jacob Bartlett, the freshman midfielder. He caught this one clean. Just over the reach of Zoltan Nagy, and hardly over the top of the bar as well. Bringing a gasp from the crowd. 3 shots now for the Irish, 2 on the Duquesne side, and yet another set piece. Dangerous territory is on the way for Notre Dame. They'll load up the box this time for a free kick as Jockey fouled himself in the mix. For Notre Dame's usual corner kick man will be the one to take it here. Junior midfielder, former ACC all-freshman team selection 2 years ago. Sends this one on to the head of Bryce Bunnell, but well over the top it goes. And at the midway point of the first half, it remains scoreless.
Saw the header from Bryce Bunnell, who, as Coach Riley mentioned, captain this season. He's trying to find his boys as a captain for this first games for the Irish. A leader with experience, that experience that we see on both teams pretty much, with some juniors, some seniors in both mixes, but also some great youth development on both teams and so many freshmen.
Now an all-ACC third-teamer. Back a season ago when he posted 15 of his 21 career points. He's got a goal and an assist so far this season. The scoring's been very balanced for the Irish to this point in 2024. Each of the 5 Notre Dame goals 3 matches in have been scored by 5 different players. All those players, Bartlett continues to receive plenty of touches in this first half. Genenbacher again available on the right side. Matthew Rue coming back to help him out. Through to Flanagan.
Yeah, White.
Flanagan again defended nicely by Moxnes. Tie up just short of midfield. Bartlett emerges. Irish have some numbers. About 4 on his right foot. Genenbacher available wide. Here it comes. High arcing into the arms of Nagy. Out again briefly, and then he contains it underneath his left leg.
The Irish now trying to mix up the attack with Before joining in the middle, going a little bit to his right when we saw him initially on the left. That's what you got to do. You got to try and have the decisive factor of surprise in such a tight game where both teams are having some sort of momentum going. Those different tactics and set pieces and styles can make a difference.
That was Ashwin Menon unknowingly undercutting his keeper. And as a result, Bryce Bonneau nearly found himself some loose change inside the box. The senior keeper recovered nicely. Nagy opened his college career at Baldwin Wallace in the Division III ranks. Played both soccer and basketball there. Was an All-Ohio Athletic Conference third-team selection 2 years ago. Physical play from Spicer, and the Irish have some room to operate. About 4. 2 bodies ahead of him. Rue and Flanagan. Bonneau goes down to the box, and it's a foul on his part. So the Irish look to charge that loose ball in a hurry.
Let's go, Irish!
Christopher Angel, the senior defender on defense there. Already 13 fouls against, rather 3 against Duquesne, 5 on Notre Dame.
Tells you how physical this match has been so far.
There's another instance right there as Bonneau ran head on into Angel. This one leaks through to Spicer. Rue up there with him. Matthew Rue, the 10-goal scorer from a year ago, finds his man Flanagan, and his drive from the penalty spot goes off a Duke and out for a corner kick.
Great pass by Rue over there. With 5 men in the box, he still finds his man, finds Flanagan, nearly gets the first one of the night.
Flanagan, a sophomore, scored his first collegiate goal just under 2 weeks ago at Indiana. And a big draw for Notre Dame. Didn't play as a freshman a season ago, but he's fully in the picture up front now alongside Matthew Rue as the Irish make 2 changes. Ian Shaw and Wyatt Lewis enters. Notre Dame goes short with the corner, and the Duke's clear. Jack Flanagan and Will Schrader check out for Notre Dame as the Irish, it feels like, have really picked up the pace in the latter stages of this first half. Now it sees 17.5 minutes remaining.
Come on, ND! Let's go!
Here's Shaw, the freshman. Has it back. Beyond the far post and out. Goal kick for Duquesne. JJ, what have you seen from this Duke's defense so far? They've had to spend a lot of time in their own end in the defending third, but they've held up so far.
Yeah, pretty solid so far. I think one of the most important things we've seen so far is the camaraderie between the defenders and the midfielders trying to support each other. Occasionally we see beyond those 5 men at the box, and that has been crucial to close the spaces for the Irish.
4 has a go, but it angles just wide of the near side post. Shot number 6 for Notre Dame as just sent it past the dive of Nagy. Take a look at the goalkeeper comparison so far between Zoltan Nagy and Blake Kelly, the senior and freshman between the posts respectively. Kelly's still looking for his first clean sheet. Nagy's got 2 of them so far, but I'll tell you what, both head coaches are pleased with the way they've started their seasons.
Yeah, and you mentioned a senior and a freshman, but as a freshman, it's impressive that Riley's already highlighting his goalkeeper's good presence, his look like a veteran. And what can we say about Nagy? A great start to the season, averaging 4.25 saves per game. Solid wall, definitely, for the Dukes so far.
Both of them benefit from having multiple seniors in front of them on the back line to further that communication and overall effectiveness on defense. Wyatt Lewis, the sophomore. Approaching the final 15 minutes of the first half that Notre Dame has dominated, especially possession-wise. Shaw settles it, lost his footing briefly, but still locates Gunnenbacher. Now it's Lewis. Seeking Bafour, wide of him. Pumped out by the Dukes. Bartlett runs it down for the Irish. Bafour with speed. Looking for an angle, drop back for Spicer. Quick passing from the Irish, but now a turnover. Duquesne briefly looked to run the other way with Yonke, but McDowd closed quickly on defense.
That's what I was mentioning a few minutes ago, how quickly Bafour got 2 men on him immediately when he was about to take the shot. The 5 line had the back organized, sometimes 4 when defending. But the pressure on the Irish, whenever they're about to get a promising attack, it's pretty much immediate.
Another throw-in coming for the Irish. Taking a look at an acceleration play from KK Bafour. This guy's got a lot of skill with the ball at his feet.
Yeah, pretty skilled, explosiveness as well. We've seen him join the attack through the center, through the left. It's been possibly the most used attack style so far by the Irish.
Changed his number from 16 to 10 entering this season. 19 career points and now 32 matches for him. Beno turns it over in his vicinity. And here comes a low shot that's off the fingertip of Nagy and out for an Irish corner. That one may have been headed wide anyway, but no good keeper is going to take his chances with one like that. Nagy makes the stop. Drew with the look just outside the top of the box. Bafour to take the corner, Notre Dame second. This time he goes long. And the Dukes clear effectively. Christopher Angel doing his part once again on the back end. Didn't play against Niagara in Duquesne's last match just under a week ago, but back-to-back full 90s before that. He started all 3 games he's played so far this season, Christopher Angel, former UAB transfer. This time he's defending Beno. Warranting another Irish throw-in. The Dukes will make one change. Maxie Hopfer's ready to check in for the first time as he places Jack Reed up front. Hopfer, the man we highlighted in the open, 50 career points. He's got 4 of them in 4 matches this year, and this is where Duquesne can maybe create a spark in the final minutes of the first half.
Yeah, they need something offensively because the Irish are coming so close to the goal that any offensive weapon right now they can get, that's so essential. And Hopfer being their main one, their leader in offense. 19 goals for Hopfer, being the 8th in the Duquesne career record books. Definitely a great move by Coach Brooks.
Beno slings his man, Moxnez down right near the end line, and that results in a foul call from the referee, J.C. Rivero. Beno pleading his case, but Duquesne will take over once again. Nagy set to bring it back the other way. The cousin of a former 2-time football captain at Duquesne, Mike O'Malley. He's got some ties to the program. And here comes Hopfer. Duquesne's only preseason All-Atlantic 10 selection. Matched up against Ramsey. He goes down a couple times, and that's the kind of pressure that Hopfer can put on a defense. Ramsey commits the foul, and the Dukes have a prime set piece chance.
It's a battle of the 10 so far. We've seen so much from KK Bafour. Now it's Hopfer's turn, and a great immediate impact to get a fall that could be very dangerous for Duquesne and for the Irish trying to defend it.
For wearing that bright yellow captain's armband, his leadership according to head coach Chase Brooks, stems from him giving 100% no matter what, with high-level intensity every single day. And a great voice in the locker room as well. Spicer checks out for the Irish. Here comes the free kick. High archer near the back post. It'll trickle out. Last off the head of Sebastian Green, who has just checked into the game for Notre Dame, a junior midfielder from Monterey, California. Long throw coming from Menon. Lands for about 4. And his chip forward is played nicely by Shaw. And Shaw still has it here, stepping right around Benix Bennetson. Finally, Christopher Angel comes to the aid of his fellow teammate. And incites a Notre Dame throw-in. Angel, another one of those captains, now 53 career starts for him. Always good when you can have a leader all the way up front in Hopfer and in the back as well. You've got the full field covered with those strong voices for Duquesne.
It's one of those things about Duquesne that not only makes it such a solid back line, but also pretty tall back line with Hopfer being 6'1". We've seen them on their setup plays. Their height is pretty difficult to deal with. They've been pretty solid as well, defending those play styles and those setup plays from the Irish so far.
20 and 21, Ali Nasser and Chris Philibin check in for Duquesne. Nasser, a transfer from Purdue Fort Wayne, so he's familiar with college soccer in the state of Indiana. Final 8.5 minutes of the first half here at Alumni Stadium. Shot 7-2 in favor of Notre Dame. Each team with one attempt on goal. Maybe more coming from the Irish as Bafour has it wide right. Fancy footwork. Now Genenbacher for Notre Dame. Shaw the back heel. Intercepted cleanly by Gell. Here comes that long thrower from Genenbacher. It's his specialty. The All-ACC third-teamer heaves it in. Has it right back as McDowell won the ball. About 4. Service off the body of a defender. Bennetson in the area. Notre Dame picks up another throw-in, and it'll be Genenbacher once more. Sebastian Green with speed. That one somehow stayed in play. Duquesne defends it well enough one more time. 7 minutes remaining now for Bryce Spino. Corner kick. Notre Dame will have its third, second one from that far side. It's Benix Bennetson, who has been involved frequently in the recent minutes on defense, from Denmark. Just a freshman. He's already started 5 games now. This one punched out, top of the 18, another high try, sails over the top.
Three corners so far by the Irish, and the vast majority of the attempts are coming in at the near post, trying to see KK before find somebody in the near post, and it's been effective so far, not necessarily in finding a header, but in giving a rebound that can potentially lead to a shot on goal.
Sebastian Green, the shooter right there for Notre Dame. Eighth shot of the first half for Notre Dame. Just looking for that first goal. The Irish lethal in terms of closing out matches when they score first. This time Green draws a foul right in front of the Dukes bench.
You got this, MD!
About 4 on a wonderful ball from Shaw. Off the head of Rude to the backside. Falls for Lewis. He pirouettes with it. Keeps it alive for Bryce Bonneau. Now Balfour yet again. Running into trouble. Still near it. Now Shaw. Bartlett doesn't want to use his back line. Looking to keep the pressure on. Now Shaw has to come all the way back to McDowd. Final 5 minutes of the first half. Notre Dame in control throughout, but yet to find that first goal. The Dukes have held them off so far. Bennetson wins another ball back. And now here's Hopfer with an option over to the left side. He'll keep it instead and play it wide right for Angel. So something to be had here for Duquesne right before the halfway break. Nagy goes long. Hopfer awaiting. Ramsey outleaps him and might have given Hopfer a knock on the back of the head. Clean play. Now here comes KK Balfour. Angling inside. Back near Balfour, but no, nearly snuck it through from the penalty spot. Duquesne clears one more time, and now it's Hopfer and McDowd in a one-on-one. And Hopfer guilty of a foul. Ashton Green warded off by Menon. Ashwin Menon, the native Texan and transfer from Oregon State, team that Notre Dame knocked out in the College Cup semifinal last year. Getting some working on the right side of that back line. But now with under 3 minutes left. Angel intercepts. Dukes looking to run. Hopfer with Nasser. 2 against 3 here with midfielders marching back for the Irish. Hopfer spins down. And it is a foul against the Irish. The clock freezes with 2:25 to play. And the referee, J.C. Rivero, calls over Sean McDowd.
Another smart play by Hopfer. Even if the Dukes haven't necessarily found goal since his entrance, he's given them that veteranship, that experience, and that fresh air that they need when defending in your final third. You gotta get something out of every counterattack, and that's what Hopfer has been able to get 2 times already since he came in.
Very dangerous set piece opportunity on the way for Duquesne. As the Irish bring everybody back inside their own 18. Shaw provides the one-man wall. Toward the back post. Knocked to the top of the 18. Still floating around in there for Hopfer. Against Bonneau. And it'll be a goal kick as that one went wide of Bonneau himself. Hopfer looking to earn that corner, but not quite there. And there's an injured Duke right next to the post. Looks like it's Ashwin Menon potentially. Slow to get to his feet. Holding that left arm over his lower back. I believe it might be Blaze Hardy, actually, 25 rather than 23, and it is in fact Hardy. Good to see him on his feet as he collided with the near side post. And thankfully, we'll have some extra time to heal up with the approaching halftime break.
And you see Coach Brook gain advantage of every little second, every little time he has to concentrate his team to have him and his players at 100%, as he mentioned before. All of them approach the bench right now to get a little hydration, to get a few instructions on how to close this first half. And they're looking, at least currently, to remain with that draw on the scoreboard and fix some things when it comes to their offensive determination during the halftime break.
Under 2 minutes to play. Irish looking for one last shot. Beno comes up with it in the left corner. Two Dukes on him. He splits the defense and earns a foul call. And there's some extra frustration on the back end from Angel. So he slammed the ball down, and JC Rivero's got some words for him. And with 1 minute 30 to play, here come the Irish with Balfour ready to line up the free kick. Right on goal and in for Notre Dame. Or have they called it off? 1:05 to play, and JC Rivero is going to signal for the VAR.
Yeah, he first called it off for a handball, but he's gonna have a look at it. Did seem like the ball took a weird trajectory there. We're also gonna need the review of it.
Rue and Genenbacher were right there. I believe it caught Matthew Rue on its way in. Here's a second look, and yeah, it was Rue, his right side. And Rivero was quick to make the call. What do you see there?
Yeah, it is like probably on his elbow it hits Rue. I think it was well disallowed. Yeah, you can see it. There's intention to get the ball in his elbow. And I think that the decision by JC Rivero was pretty accurate.
That's the signal given by Rivero, chicken winging that right elbow out as he speaks with both coaches, Chase Brooks and Chad Riley. No goal, and it remains scoreless with 65 seconds to go. So Notre Dame continues to come close. Rue's got to feel like he's snake bitten right now. All the opportunities he had at Louisville, and that one's disallowed.
Yeah, it clearly hits Rue's elbow. You can't cut it off, obviously, but there is intention in expanding a little bit the volume of the body, expanding where the ball is going, hitting the ball, changing the trajectory. That's got to be disallowed, and I think JC Rivero did the right decision.
Less than a minute to go now, and Rue, the man we highlighted for Notre Dame, remains on 1 goal for the young season. Duquesne's got another chance here with Menon preparing the long throw. Back to Menon. Kelly leaps, and he's got it with 20 seconds to go. And that's one of the things Chad Riley has praised him for, handling traffic inside that box. This long ball from it is headed forward towards Shaw, but it comes back into the arms of Nagy.
8, 7, 6, 5.
As he climbs to his feet, it'll be a scoreless first half between Duquesne and Notre Dame. Plenty of chances for the Irish. The Dukes push back from time to time, but nothing to show for it on either side. 0.
Find the goal that gives them the lead.
Notre Dame with first touch in the second half as The action resumes here at Alumni Stadium. Notre Dame sending this one toward the top of the penalty area. Sebastian Green in the vicinity, lands for Wyatt Lewis, out wide again right. Notre Dame a chance to line up Genenbacher for a throw, and he'll look to go short with it. Duquesne, all sorts of communication defensively. Coach Brooks mentioned a little bit of that bend but don't break mentality that the Dukes have to have coming in on the road like this. Mentioned that second half at Xavier when Duquesne scored the 1-0 road victory last Sunday, and the Musketeers putting all sorts of pressure on. It seemed by the looks of things that Xavier would get the first goal and emerge with the victory, but Duquesne held tight, somehow found a way to keep it scoreless, and ended up prevailing 1-0.
Yeah, sometimes you don't necessarily need to be leading in possession, not need to be leading in shots. You just got to find the right opportunity. Obviously, the most amount of time and opportunities you have, the closer you can be to scoring, but sometimes you can be losing the possession, losing in shots, and still find the right one and get one, go in, and take the win.
No, making his move towards it. Blaze Jordan, who has returned to the action after getting a bit banged up late in that first half on the collision with the post, returns. Defending Beno on that occasion. Good to see him back in the fold. Sebastian Green making a run. Christopher Angel on defense. Matthew Rue. Out to Beno. Green again. Keep an eye on Rue in this second half. Notre Dame's top returning scorer. Probably a little bit frustrated after that disallowed goal towards the end of the first half. He might have something in store for us in the final 45.
So far, similar what we're seeing from what we saw in the first half with the Irish leading the offensive determination and the Dukes in their box trying to block the way for any potential goal opportunity.
That time the Irish send it toward goal with Shaw putting his right foot to it. Zoltan Nagy, who was crisp in the first half, corrals another one. Nagy looking for his third consecutive shutout. Each of his last two played a part in Duquesne wins at Xavier and up against Niagara.
Nagy had 15 shots actually faced in that game against Niagara with 7 saves. So far, 8 shots. We'll see if the Irish can get another 7, tie that Niagara shot sheet, and potentially have better luck than Niagara did.
Green with some space, but a diagonal run near him. Back for Green. He chases it down. Rue available in the middle. Ball goes by him. Finally, Duquesne swoops in with Ben Pleven defending. Now it's back in Rue's area and sent just wide for another goal kick. Creative work on that left side between Beno and Green to set it all up for the Irish. Drew another chance to come up with it close. But the red jersey surrounded him, and now a turnover with Angel having problems with Green's pressure. Now just over 5 minutes into the second half. The Irish have another throw in deep in the attacking third. Last time out, both of these teams played scoreless second halves entirely in their respective one-goal victories. Jack Reed an interception as he's returned at the forward position for Duquesne. And now he loses it off a body. Irish go wayward with a pass, and now it comes all the way behind to Josh Ramsey. Ramsey switching the field. Has an option on the far side. Now Lewis flicks it back to him once more. But no, with pressure. Green. Menon stepped in front of him briefly. Lewis recovers. Lewis turns away, finds some room, and goes back to Ramsey with it. Irish taking another methodical approach. Now Bartlett steps in it with the left foot, and Angel comes up with the block. It pinballs out. Goal kick Duquesne. And Angel's in a bit of pain now as he put the body on the line right there.
It was a powerful shot, definitely, by the Irish. Angel seems to be recovering now. But so far, the Irish keep on insisting and pushing, trying to find that goal, especially on the left side. Before, not on the pitch right now, but definitely finding still attacking opportunities by Chad Durant and his team.
Jackson Irvin, space in the interior, Menon out wide, matched up against Bartlett. And on a step over, now Grant McIntosh. Four down the left side, intended for Reed. McDowd stepped in front, quick throw in. Duquesne wanted to rush into it with numbers coming forward, but head coach Chase Brooks wants his guys to slow the pace down a little bit as Ashton Gell got involved on that left side with Reed making the initial run. Now it's Jesper Moxnez lofting it ahead. Green the clearance. Drew defended perfectly by Hardy. Reed over his head toward Ali Nasser. And the Irish settle it down with Genenbacher using the noggin to locate his keeper, Blake Kelly. Shaw, Notre Dame with some numbers up the right side. Lewis thinks about a switch. Through ball. Up the right side comes Nico Bartlett. Sliding attempt. And again, struggling to corral it, the keeper Nagy. But a foul against Notre Dame right near the end line will give Nagy a chance to settle down as Matthew Rue poked away at it. Notre Dame recovers. I should say it was Jack Flanagan running onto that creative through ball for Notre Dame. And on the wide right part of the midfield for the Irish. Well, it's another one from Lewis here. Shaw switching it back for Rue. He settles it down, back to the left foot, and a lofting shot ramps up off a Duke for a corner kick.
Coach Brooks mentions hub first intensity, but I also feel that Matthew Rue intensity is one that perhaps needs to be talked more about. He knows he hasn't had necessarily the best start to the season. He wants to get on the score sheet. We've seen him attempt it, one disallowed goal tonight, and so far, very participative for the Irish in the second half.
Another look there from Notre Dame. Rue on the back end of the corner kick, and his header deflects over the top once more for a corner.
This corner a bit surprising. He changed the strategy from the near post to the far post, and a great way to find Rue. He nearly gets his past Nagy.
Shaw the corner, Rue toward the back post, and this time it's out clean for a goal kick. Only 21 and white, as we figured coming into this match, has had his name all around the ball in the offensive chances for the Irish. Still nothing to show for it down. Notre Dame now up to 12 shots. I think they heard you talking about the potential 15 that Niagara put up. There's a foul against Duquesne as Wyatt Lewis goes down to the surface. Ashton Gell part of the contact as Lewis had an opportunity to move forward with some space. But a foul from behind. About 4 out, it's Ian Shaw, the set piece taker again for the Irish. Duquesne thwarts it for now. And here's Green. Squaring up against Angel. Shaw into the arms of the diving Nagy once again. Matthew Rue oncoming along with a couple of his Irish teammates. The Duquesne keeper continues to hold his ground. Lewis. Creative work with the ball around his feet. Now Genenbacher has all sorts of real estate. Pushing the pace towards Rue. Sprawling Moxes knocks it away, but here come the Irish one more time. Ian Shaw forward for Flanagan. Contact in the box. Corner kick coming for the Irish. Blaze Hardy on defense for the Dukes. The VCU transfer had to close in fast on Flanagan. Corner leaks out the backside for Sebastian Green. And there's an injured Irish player back behind the play. Ruslow getting back to his feet. As the 15th minute dwindles away. JJ, what have you seen as far as adjustments go from these two sides in the second half? It's been more the same with Notre Dame threatening constantly, right?
Yeah, more of the same, but perhaps even more attacking determination from Notre Dame already. 5 shots in this half. We're still got 30 minutes to go. Duquesne hasn't really found any offensive weapons this half. But again, Coach Brooks perhaps relying on the hub first strategy for later tonight.
Still with the Irish on the restart. Green pivots. Sets up Bartlett. Down for Flanagan. Shaw can shoot. Right on goal and knocked away by Nagy.
And that's 14 shots already.
4 saves now for the Duquesne goalkeeper. Difficult one to beat. Shaw gave it his best look right there. Nolan Spicer will check in for Shaw. Good work from the Irish freshman as he takes a seat. With 2 shots, both of them on goal. Roos searching for this one. And a fight with Hardy, who knocks it up in the air. And finally, Nagy approaches to contain the ball. He's been clean with his decisions so far in the Duquesne cage. Lewis getting a bit too physical from behind. Foul against the Irish. That is the 11th of the night against Notre Dame. Now Blake Kelly has had a quiet start to the second half. Haven't called his name in a while, but he gets his hands on it for Notre Dame. Just 1 save so far for the true freshman Irish keeper, as he's hunting his first career clean sheet. Lewis goes long, angling toward Flanagan. Is it too much? Sure is. As Flanagan slides in an attempt to keep it in play, but can't track it down. Goal kick Duquesne. Jack Flanagan, sophomore forward, former Elite Club's National League postseason Golden Boot Award winner during his prep career. Has a goal-scoring knack to him. He's already got one this year back a couple weeks ago against Indiana in that 2-2 draw on the road. He's been on the receiving end quite a few of those Wyatt Lewis long balls from the back part of the Irish midfield. He, along with Rue, have been very active early in the second half, supplying the Notre Dame attack. Kane guilty of a foul right in front of the video monitor. Already approaching the midway point of the second half and still without a score. here at Alumni Stadium. 2 undefeated starts on the line. Duquesne at 4-0. 1 road win for the Dukes so far this year. The Irish 1-0-2 overall, looking for their first victory at home this season. Green gets by Menon, taken down from behind. And there will be a stoppage as Green remains down on the deck. And there's a yellow card shown to Menon. First booking of the night from J.C. Rivero, the referee. Well, let's hope Green is okay, clutching that left leg. Notre Dame's training staff makes its way out there, and Green, some major discomfort. Good to see him back and sitting up. So working on that lower left leg area. Glad he's back on his feet that quickly and able to put some weight on that left leg. We'll take a second glance at it as Menon goes into the book for this play right here. Just a boot to the inside part of that left ankle, left calf.
Yeah, Menon's extremely late to that tackle. Tell you what, he was even lucky it was a yellow, I feel like.
So Green walks off on his own power. Very good sign. And that brings KK Bafour back into the contest. And he'll be the one to take this free kick. Pretty similar area to the one that nearly resulted in a Notre Dame goal late in the first half. The disallowed handball play off of Matthew Rue. Green off the pitch, here comes Bafour. Low line drive, cleared out. Sean McDowell has to chase it down for Notre Dame. Bafour looking to keep the heat on. Spicer takes it with the left foot, and Notre Dame has broken through. Nolan Spicer, one of the stars of the first half, generating chance after chance for the Irish, has opened up his 2024 account, and it's 1-0 Irish.
When you get so many players in the back of the box, you gotta shoot. You gotta shoot from outside. A great goal by Spicer. And a goal that also benefits Chad Riley, surprises them that he was doing, even with Flanagan on the pitch. Matthew Rue was the only man up front. More men in the midfield, more men as center attacking midfielders. You get more men in the midfield, you get more opportunities to shoot. You change your style of play, you surprise your opponent, and you end up getting the goal that right now gives you a slight margin of victory.
The All-ACC freshman selection from a season ago gets his name in the goal column for the first time this year. And Notre Dame, in the 65th minute, has that crucial first goal. Again, the Irish unbeaten in their last 37 matches when opening the scoring. And on that shot number 15 you called out earlier, that's the one that gets Notre Dame on the board.
Yep.
Bryce Bonneau picks up the assist as he was in the middle of that give and go play. Bonneau's second assist of the season. He's up to 4 points now, leading the Irish.
And Coach Brook immediately reacts. Hopfer's on the field now.
Can he and the Dukes respond? They've got 24 minutes to do it. Lewis. Notre Dame wants to add on. Flanagan playing it through. The Duke's clear, right into the stride of Nasser. Ramsey jumps in the passing lane. KK Bafour peels past Menon. Lewis switches over to Bafour. Back for Lewis. Jacob Bartlett. And now again in Bacher. Beno locating Spicer again. He tracks it down. Flanagan with service. That one clears the back side of the 18, and Bafour has to run it down. Working against Ashwin Menon. Wyatt Lewis, chip short of Rue. Hopfer moving towards it for Duquesne, and it's off his foot and out. Notre Dame throw-in. There's another look at what the Irish have done when getting the first goal in the past 3 years and change of Chad Riley's tenure, 33-0-4. Notre Dame, a 37-match unbeaten streak when going up 1-0 as they have tonight. JJ, how's Duquesne going to overcome that? I'd imagine it has to start with getting the ball.
That starts with getting the ball, but you also got to start with the change in mentality. The first change of that mentality to an offensive one was from the bench by Coach Brooks bringing in Maxi Hopfer. But now the midfielders that they have been supporting that defensive line throughout the entire game, they now got to move beyond their final third, go into the midfield and try to get some balls to Hopfer. Because right now it seems as if the defense and the only man in attack, which is Hopfer, are so far apart and so far wide that it's such a difficult way to try and get balls to Hopfer and initiate an attack that could lead them to tie the game.
He's been quiet since returning. Irish still with it on the throw and in front of their own bench. Final 21 minutes approaching now from Alumni Stadium. Irish ahead a goal on the 65th minute strike from Nolan Spicer, the sophomore midfielder, his second career goal. Flanagan looking to run onto a long ball, and it trickles out. Shots now 15-2 in Notre Dame's favor, the 15th the goal. Ollie Nasser makes his way off for Duquesne, and Dakota Jockey returns up front to team up with Hopfer.
Yeah, you need another forward in the pitch right now.
Again, Duquesne has a difficult time getting the ball up to them. Ramsey for Rue, over his reach, and into the grasp of Nagy. Now under 20 minutes to play, under 20 minutes remaining for Duquesne to equalize. As their unbeaten start now hangs in the balance. Spicer makes his way around, goes down from behind, and that's an easy call for J.C. Rivero. The Irish restart fast. Flanagan towards Ruin Balfour, goes in between them. Irvin sends it up in the air. Now it's back on goal for Nagy. Bartlett an aggressive challenge, and the Irish again settle down a Duquesne possession in short order. Spicer the goal scorer. Give and go with Flanagan. Defended nicely by Bennetson. The Irish will leave for Genenbacher throwing with under 18 to go in regulation time. Sebastian Green, the previously injured Irish player, back on the field. He'll take the place of Flanagan. Great to see Green back and healthy. Genenbacher's long throw comes to Green. With that left foot, he strikes. Menon gets in the way. Now Balfour up in the air toward Lewis. Ashton Gell sends it away for Duquesne. Spicer with room out ahead, finding Bonneau. Thought about going back to Spicer, now about 4 wide right. Rue turning to his left foot. Here he goes, and it's over the bar. Another opportunity for Rue, but he comes up empty, and it remains 1-0.
And again, as we saw in the first half, the Balfour impact has been on the left, has been in the middle, is now on the right. Great job by KK Balfour, and Rue once again very active in attack.
Had the right idea. That upper left corner was certainly open. Just a bit too much underneath it. Final 16 minutes now in South Bend. Rue with a game-high 5 shots now. His header springs KK Balfour. Look at his speed. Balfour, edge of the box, sending it across in Rue's direction, and Nagy gets in the way and rolls it out to Menon to start up the Dukes counter. Just past Hopfer. Menon had him open, but sent it wayward. You can see a little bit of a frustrated look on Hopfer's face. He's had a difficult time getting involved. I think you pointed out so well a few minutes ago. Duquesne's just not able to get the ball to him right now effectively. Irish get it to Rue here on his left foot. Shot blocked. Now the Dukes can counter again. Another turnover before the ball could ever reach Hopfer's position. Genenbacher turns away from him. Spicer, Lewis, back to Spicer. Nice sliding play from Hardy, but Spicer collects. Now back 4 with service toward Green. It returns to Green. His deflected cross. Comes up top for Bonneau. Tight quarters. Spicer for about 4. Could he fire with the right foot? He does! And a great save from Nagy to knock it wide for a corner.
Great save by Nagy. Great shot by Bafour. You're starting to see not only a sense of frustration from the Duquesne players, but also a sense of tiredness. It's been a physical match, undoubtedly, for both teams. And when you haven't really had the possession, when you've had to run behind the ball for so long, physically that drains you. And that's what you can perceive on Dukes.
Sebastian Green settles the Balfour corner. And there's an injured Irish player back behind the situation. Jacob Bartlett is down with 12:58 to go. Bartlett maybe leaking a little bit from the facial area as he went high and caught a flying elbow there from Dakota Jonke. Bartlett responsible for Notre Dame's game-winning goal last week at Louisville. Helped the Irish to a big 3 points to start off their ACC slate, which of course continues on Saturday. A big match against Stanford in a ranked contest. Bartlett makes his way off, and the Irish are still waiting on a replacement here, it looks like.
And during this break, Coach Brooks took advantage once again to talk with some of his players, who was also Hopfer talking with Urban. Midfielder with the forward, perhaps trying to find a goal-scoring opportunity over the last 13 minutes or so. So far, it seems that the Irish are closer to getting a second than Duquesne is to tying the match.
Will Schrader, the replacement for Bartlett. The Irish are up to 19 shots now tonight, 6 of them on goal. About 4, been out of control. Spicer picks him up. The Dukes regather. They'll look to exit their own end. Duquesne still without a shot in this second half. In danger of losing a rare 1-goal decision. Hopfer plays it forward. And a foul on the run between McDowd and it looked like Jackson Irvin on the way toward the loose ball. Puts Notre Dame back in position with 12 minutes remaining to gain control. Clean play from Hopfer. Numbers for the Dukes. Dakota Jonke seeking space. And Sebastian Green provides the clearance. Move against Angel. Hardy comes over for help.
And this is exactly what Duquesne needs right now. We saw the transition from the 5-back to a 3-4-3 in attack, You gotta get more people to support Hopfer. You gotta get more men in the midfield. You gotta get the ball outside of your half. Those long balls can work, not necessarily when you might be out of legs after 80 minutes of football. But so far, that change in formation, the most effective thing we've seen as a response of the Irish goal by Duquesne.
Great matchup up front there between Hopfer and Ramsey on the Irish back line. Hopfer, a 50-game starter in his career. Ramsey started 65 games now. That time it was Ramsey winning the battle for body positioning. Jonke, just too many white kits surrounding him. Heavy touch from Angel out of the air. Rue to Spicer. Given space in the direction of Balfour, and good step on defense. Wins the ball back briefly. And here's Schrader knocking it down. Finally, a Duquesne throw-in. Good defensive work from Angel. Spicer down from behind. And Schrader forced the turnover again. And with less than 10 minutes to go. It's foul number 11 on the match for Duquesne. 11 fouls aside. That'll be another one against the Dukes, as Ashton Gell came in against KK Balfour with an aggressive play. Duquesne, after this match, will continue a 3-game road trip. As a young fan comes up with that loose ball. Robert Morrissey and George Washington await the Dukes over the next week and a half. George Washington will be the Atlantic 10 opening match for Duquesne, as Rue snakes his way through. His body's flying all around him. Still hangs on and finds Bonnell. Spicer again. Balfour on the right. Goes low with it. And it leaks past the far post. Off a deflection from Nagy. Corner kick Irish. This match for Notre Dame opens up a 6-game homestand. The Irish will be on the road just one more time between now and October 26th. Next month and a half, really a tremendous opportunity for Notre Dame to settle in and find a rhythm on home field. Place where they've been so dominant. See that upcoming schedule in full. ACC playing pretty sparse to get going. Only Stanford awaits in the conference ranks over the next 3 weeks. Plenty of tune-up opportunities with Chicago State, Detroit Mercy, and Trine also mixed in there, but focus is going to be on Saturday night right here.
It is going to be on Saturday night, and the Irish are looking to close it up pretty well before that game, but to do so, I think what better scenario you have than to touch base on what Coach Riley said of being a 90 minutes team, of having that concentration. You've got 7 minutes to go. You got to give it your all and be focused, hoping the Duquesne, who's trailing by 1, gets more offensive in this last few minutes. You got to show your concentration and you got to give it your all.
To your point about the full 90 approach Chad Riley seeks from his team, Notre Dame heading into this match had scored first in all 3 previous contests, but in each of them the opponent had responded, leading to 2 draws. And The Irish inability to close it out, albeit against good teams, has made the difference between 1 and 2 as opposed to maybe a 3-0 start. Duquesne running out of time. Final 6.5 minutes. Here's Jonke. Out to Maxi Hopfer. Laser beam toward the penalty spot, and some high kicks result in a whistle. And J.C. Rivero is turning to the book. Jackson Irvin, the midfielder, with an illegal play as he went all out in the air for that one and clipped Josh Ramsey.
Definitely a dangerous play, but we go back to what we saw in the break when Green was being treated after a hard foul. Urban taking a more forward, more attacking position with Hopfer going to the right, coming a little behind Urban and being the one who gets the ball into the box. Some changes in position, some variations in attack. Perhaps a little too late from Duquesne, but they still have got 6 minutes on the clock to try and get one back and get a point here at Alumni Stadium.
Green knocking one over the top. Balfour making it close. And he might have been guilty of a foul from behind before the ball trickled out. Clock continues to wind underneath the 6-minute mark. As Nagy calls for his teammates to advance down the field. McIntosh switching the field for Moxnez. But his look goes beyond the out-of-bounds line for an Irish throw. And we'll take a look at the Duquesne upcoming schedule. That George Washington match on the 21st, the Atlantic 10 play opener. And then back-to-back home games, Mount St. Mary's and St. Joseph's to wrap up the month of September. Before October comes around, it's much more balanced schedule between home away for Duquesne. No road trips or homestands longer than 3 matches at a time for the Dukes.
And Coach Riley and Coach Brooks were emphasis on Notre Dame's 6 home games, and Coach Brooks specifically on the 3 games that they have.
Look at this. Hopfer in the clear. Could he beat Kelly? He goes down from behind, and the whistle blows. Penalty kick coming for Duquesne.
The Irish attempted to get the ball, as they've been doing the whole match. Unlucky in doing so. Hopfer very attentive, and that's what you get with a player with such experience like Hopfer. He can change the approach and the trajectory of the game in a single play. Very dangerous penalty kick. What a better opportunity for Duquesne to tie the game with 4 minutes to go. Push from the back, and a penalty kick is awarded.
Sean McDowell, who committed the turnover, goes into the book and sets up the penalty kick for Dakota Jonke. Hasn't scored yet this year. Junior forward from Cleveland, Ohio, and a Cornell transfer. Chance to equalize in the final 5 minutes. And he does! Duquesne levels the match in the 86th minute as Dakota Jonke capitalizes on the PK.
When life gives you lemon, go and make some lemonade. Sometimes you can make a pitcher, sometimes you can only make a glass. But if you got the lemons, you got the opportunities, you gotta score the goals. Great goal by Duquesne. Great play by Hopfer, taking advantage of the mistake in the Irish defense. And it's now 1-1 with 4 minutes to go.
The foul that set it up, and the goal that finished it. A 1-1 match here in South Bend. Notre Dame had outshot Duquesne 20-2 before that situation. And in a 1-goal game, that's all it takes. And we talked about it. Duquesne refusing to lose these 1-goal matches. And barring a surge from Notre Dame inside the final 4.5 minutes here, it seems that the Dukes are going to avoid that 1-goal loss. But still time for the Irish, who have really flurried attacks tonight, to get something started. KK Bafour nearly scored a second goal for Notre Dame just about 10 minutes to go, and there'll be a dangerous set piece chance for the Irish as Bonneau goes down just outside the box. In the mix, and Bennetson committed the foul. Bafour and Jacob Bartlett in the vicinity of the ball. It's Bafour right into the arms of Zoltan Nagy. And it remains level.
Not the best shot you want to have with 3 minutes to go, having just been leveled on the scoreboard. But the Irish need to keep their offensive determination coming in this 3 minutes as they've been doing so for the entire game. And Duquesne needs to go back to a little defensive mentality. But I tell you what, with the Irish going all-out attack, they could find some spaces for a counterattack. So I'm guessing that we're going to have 2 minutes of absolute beautiful soccer.
Nagy up to 7 saves now for Duquesne, last year's Atlantic 10 saves leader. Now has 24 stops on the young season. 20 in his last 3 matches. KK Bafour again for the Irish. Final 2.5 minutes. Bryce Bonneau, Genenbacher. Bafour again. Irish working the left side now with 2 minutes to play. Bartlett lofting it past everyone and out for a goal kick with 1:45 to go. Duquesne holding firm again. Clock stops with 1:41 to play as Nagy lines up the goal kick. This one in danger of going out, and it does. Jack Emanuel, the senior defender, was on the receiving end of the long ball and couldn't play. Certainly looked to be headed out on it, and he and Ramsey both paid the price. Now a long throw coming from Genenbacher with 40 seconds to go. Duquesne clears again. Blake Kelly's out at midfield for the Irish. Ramsey into a dangerous spot and just past the head of Bartlett with under 30 seconds left. Bartlett has to track it down one more time. They both entered the night unbeaten, and unbeaten they will both remain. Duquesne and Notre Dame draw at 1 apiece here in South Bend. The Dukes go to 4-0-1. The Irish with a third draw on the young season